This is absolutely lit. This is lit, 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 lit.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This, my friends, as you may know, is Dark Times with Dark Matt Steve. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Get your ass in here. Where are we at tonight? Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're at, get in the chat. Say hello. Tell me to go F myself. Tell me whatever's on your mind. You need your voice heard, okay? The best way you can do that is get in my chat, get in my comment section, and if you're feeling frisky, hit the subscribe button. Maybe even tap that little thumb. That's the like button. If you tap that, it does things to me. Stimulating things. Anyway, guys, welcome. Enough of that. Come on, guys, grow up. Let's move on. Everybody quit being crazy. Let's move on. All right, come on. Hey, everybody, chill out. What are we doing tonight? Tonight, Macron, Mr. Macaroni himself. I don't remember what day this happened, but he's getting like smacked around by his wife, who looks like the skeleton of Joe Biden. I don't know what this decrepit woman in quotation marks, I don't know what this thing is, but it's apparently Macron's wife, and she just like smacks him around and stuff. Apparently, judging by this footage, which we're going to get to immediately after I welcome everyone in the chat. And then we've also got Donald Trump released a statement on Truth Social, and it's making its rounds. I have no idea what the fuck Truth Social even is. I'm not going to download another app. We're not doing it. I made the mistake of downloading TikTok, and they really fuck around and dick around with me. And so I basically stopped using it. Okay? You're going to remove my parody songs because I do a song about Joe Biden and the people he showers with, a.k.a. his daughter. You're going to remove my stuff for factual information that you're going to call misinformation. You can go fuck yourself. I'm sorry. I'm just like something that basic as Joe Biden and his daughter Ashley Biden's diary, which says what it says in it, and she verified that it's hers, threatened to, have people arrested if it didn't get returned to her, so it's hers. And you're going to delete my stuff because it's misinformation. I did a song about it. That's misinformation, huh? Right. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. Fuck TikTok, fuck Truth Social. But anyway, this Trump released a statement about trans people in sports. We're going to take a look at that and some other stuff related to that. And we're also going to take a look at some conspiracies related to Macron's wife, because people think that is a trans person too. That thing. Really, I mean, that's being very generous to say that you think that that's a trans woman, when really it's got to be a reptilian or an alien or something. I really think that that's not outlandish to consider. Looking at this fucking beast, this creature of the night. All right, let's get to the chat. We'll get started here. The fat pig's up in first. Sweet Cheeks, that's me. Fat pig. Well, I like to call you when you call me Sweet Cheeks, I like to call you Sweet Tooth. It's sort of, it sort of implies, I don't know, read between the lines, people. Read between the cheeks. Stacey G's up in here. Michael Earl's up in here. Bob Cook, lovers, friends, welcome. Dutch Duke is up in here. What's up, the Duke? We are in the presence of royalty, ladies and gentlemen. The Duke is in. Rainy's in here. I begged her, guys. Last night I begged and I pleaded, Rainy, take a day off from selling houses in my fucking chat, okay? She couldn't help herself. I think 3 people bought properties from Rainy in my chat alone. I'm not seeing one fucking penny from this. Rainy, how dare you? God damn it, Rainy. Sniz is in here. What's up, Sniz? That's a very Rainy. That's a good question. Are you going to behave yourself tonight, fat pig? Power pig, hello. Welcome, Sniz. I wasn't on too late, Sniz. We were on by 8:05, I think, is when I started the intro video. Pink Puma's up in here. What's up, Pink Puma? Thanks for joining us again. Man, that dude that's married to the French president made him his bitch. Guys, I can't wait. We got to look at this video. It's fucking outlandish. Scott Starber's up in here. Welcome, sir. Doctor, Captain, welcome. DMS, this mix is pretty sick. Thank you. Yeah, some of y'all may not know, but I appreciate the props. I do all my own intro music for my stream and for whatever podcast stuff that I do. I got my own tracks. I made them myself. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like when my royalty free, intro, outro music that I make for, that I make for podcasts and, my stuff. I could make it simple enough that I just do some stupid little like throwaway beat or something like that. We may do that eventually. Maybe at some point. I'll use some whatever. Whatever. But I actually did take some time with my intro tracks and stuff. It's not like it's fucking Mozart or something, but it's actually stuff that sounds good. I'm not, I'm not insulting my viewers, supporters with bad intro music, with bullshit, and just going, "Oh, I made it though, guys." It's like, but it sounds like ass. Yeah, his wife. Dark Match Jeans up in here. Welcome, sir. Macron's wife is a man, and PDF file 100% confirmed. I scrolled past some picture where Macron's wife was in like a one-piece bathing suit, and she looked like she had a bigger dick than me. So props to Macron's wife. That's one big-ass dick. Jack Mahogoff. DMS, would you eat Decap's ass for 100? Bro, fuck no, I wouldn't. I would rather put in an honest day's work for $100 and not have to be like mentally scarred from doing something that fucking disgusting. Jack Mahogoff, you're telling me, buddy. Why don't you remove TikTok from your device, Steve? Well, actually, I've been thinking about that, but the thing is, there's always, there might be some parody songs or something, some video in the future that I release that does well on there that could help me. I don't know. It's a possibility. But I may actually start to stream on there because I was going to go live for a couple different things. I was going to go live on TikTok. And then I heard that you need 1,000 followers or something. So I was like, well, double fuck TikTok. It won't let me go live, and it won't let me post my parody songs that, are based upon true but controversial conspiracies. So double fuck TikTok. But then recently, for some reason, TikTok has let me go live. I did it for the first time this weekend. Actually, I did Sunday Runday live on YouTube and Instagram. And then when I did my ice bath, I had earlier, I like went on TikTok or something on the day on Sunday, and it said something about being able to go live. And I was like, you know what? I got my ice bags. Let's just try to go live on TikTok. So I did. It took me like 1 minute because it made me verify my age, but then it let me go live. So I don't know. They must have changed the rules or something. They must have seen, the writing on the wall, or there's a bunch of people that'd be willing to go live on TikTok, and there's a bunch of people on TikTok willing to watch. So I don't know. I guess they're just they changed the rules. I don't know. I don't know what's happening on TikTok. All right, guys. Where are we? There's that. There's this. All right, let's take a look at the Macron video. I need some water, Rubio. Oh yeah. Dark Match Gene. Yo, I'm here, bro. Really? Scott, you have millions of views on TikTok, but they demonetized me, so fuck them. Find me on TikTok, or do we follow each other? I don't even know. I basically don't look at anything anyone posts on TikTok. I only post stuff there. I don't watch stuff on TikTok. Oh, let me bring up Twitter. Let's take a look at Macron first. Did I save this video? God, there is so much. This video is fucking nuts, man. This is nuts. There's so much to break down about this video. I mean, guys, this is crazy. Bro, look at it up close. Let's look at this first video up close. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Do I gotta? Yeah. Let me go down here. Okay. What kind of slap is that? What even is that? It's like it was both hands. It was a two-handed, like, face shove type of thing. I don't even know what you call that. This is like a new form of hitting somebody. No one's ever done this in the history of the human race, where they just put two hands and just sort of like paw at your face with both of their hands. What is that? Guys, an angry outburst of violence. Yeah, Terry, but I've never seen someone get hit like this. I don't know what this is. I'm actually like, I'm confused by this. What makes someone do that? Like if he said something to piss him off, whatever it is, whatever gender that fucking freakish thing is. Really, people are concerned about what gender Macron's wife is. I'm worried about what species she is. I don't know what the fuck that is. But what kind of like, what if someone says something to really offend and piss off a woman, and she goes to slap them? I mean, I've seen all kinds of slaps where they just like, psh, or just like, smack them on the mouth, like, quick, or even a backhand or something, or even a push. If you're going to use two hands, you push. I've never seen someone go like this, sort of like, you can see that both the hands are like close together, like she's doing like this. like just sort of like push your face. I don't know what, like, I'm honestly, I'm at loss for words. I don't know what this even is. I love it though. Whatever it is, I fucking love it. Oh, Adam's in here. It's reptilian. Yeah, that's my thing, dude. How are you tonight, chicken legs? I'm pretty good. Legs are still very chickeny. Even though I did squats last week, guys. I did deadlifts Monday and some shoulder shrugs. Guys, I did shoulder shrugs. This ain't the best shirt to show off my traps, but we did shoulder shrugs, guys. Ooh. Ooh, hold up. You get what? Hold up. What is that? What the hell? Jesus Christ, guys. Look at. Oh. See, this is what happens when you make fun of my thin legs. I got to overcompensate by flexing. Oh, we're having connection issues right now when I start to flex. How convenient, Spectrum. How very convenient. God damn it. Let me disconnect the Wi-Fi from my phone. I guess my iPhone is pulling too much signal. What is even going on, Spectrum? This is fucked up. This is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid, Spectrum. Fix this right now. Guys, is it still blurry? I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. Fucking A. Guys, hold on. Let me go check on the router. I guess I just have to leave the room for one reason or another. Holy fuck. Got no problems all day until I go live. God damn, I hate my life. Connection still fucked. God damn. Fuck it. Let's move on. Yes, show's over. Show's over, everybody. Everybody have a good night. I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'm just kidding. God damn it. Everybody relax. We got our connection back, okay? I don't know how it came back. I just lost viewers. You know what? We're leaving, guys. I'll see you later. I'm kidding, god damn it. Everybody relax. All right, we're back to the video. This is my favorite thing about this video. Let's go to the full version. I fucking love this. I love this. I love that the door opens. Right when the door opens, she shoves him in the face. It's not a slap. It's not like a push. I don't know if it's a mush. You guys remember that episode of, what was it? Judge Judy? Was it Judge Judy? Where the black lady has her kid there and she assaulted this woman somehow, and there was something involved with this case where she like smacked this woman in the face. And Judge Judy's like, did you smack her in the face? She's like, no, I mushed her. I mushed her in the face. She's like, what do you mean you mushed her? She's like, I mushed her in the face. I just mushed her. And then she asked the little kid, she's like, did your mother hit her in the face? Did she slap her? And the kid's like, my mama mushed her. She mushed her in her face. This is what the black lady is referring to. We have an example right here. I love the wave. What is this little wave he does? Like everybody didn't just see him get hit. I'm like, bro, this is so funny. Let me find there's got to be a more zoomed in version. This is so funny. He waves like everybody didn't like what is this? Bro. Bro. It's like dude, it's like if they opened the door and he was hunched over a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket taking a shit, and he stood up and pulled his pants up and then waved while the door was open for the whole thing. You know, it's like, it's so awkward. Why even pretend everyone didn't just see you and your fucking alien from the movie Species wife having some domestic dispute? Why even pretend? This is what I'm saying. Like, it's almost, it really is to the point that it's insulting how much we just get completely lied to by politicians. And they think we're retarded. Like, we watched your wife smack you in the face and you turn to us and smile and wave at the camera as if that makes us have amnesia about what we just saw. I'm so baffled by this. Dude, this guy has basic negative aura. This is like this is what's his name? This guy has Gavin Newsom type of negative aura. He should have cut a promo on her. He should have. He should have hit her back in front of everybody. That would have been funny. She kicks his ass all the time. Bro, this woman, this creature is skin and bones. I'm like, it takes 2 hands for her to slap him in the face with any kind of force. I don't know if she could actually kick his ass. I think I understand not hitting back in this situation. She honestly looks like you could take her over your knee and break her spine with almost no force. That's my kind of woman. Oh, fuck, man. It would have been so much better to like walk away from the door real quick. And you could even change your suit jacket and pretend someone else was getting hit or something. That's funny. K-Dog's up in here. What's up, K-Dog? Welcome, welcome. Look at this. And then they walk out like nothing happened. Like they weren't just having a cocaine-fueled domestic fight. She looks very Planet of the Apes-ish also, does she not? Doesn't it look like a big fucking wig on the fucking Skeletor body and the weird fucking face? I don't know. She's got a big pumpkin head. She looks like the Pumpkin King. Goddamn, stack of twigs inside of a suit with a big old fucking pumpkin head. What is this build? Guys, this is not human. You guys are worried about if this is a man. You should be worried if this is even human. No. This is not a human being. You got to be kidding me. This bitch is from Zeta Reticuli. Fucking idiot. Oh my god. I love it. Oh, hello. I guess he's not British. Au revoir. Guys, did we ever get into the cocaine thing? The French media keeps writing about how sexy Macron's wife is. That's how you know the media is liars. You don't have to look at any other story except for that. Candace Owens' story about the episode about the Macrons was crazy. Guys, let's look at the... Did we ever cover the cocaine thing in here? Did we ever play the thing? I don't think we did, guys, right? We didn't hit Macron. And who else? These other people that were supposedly they were doing cocaine. That's what people were. I know Alex Jones talked about it. We can pull that up because I did want to take a look at that. Let me see. And this, I feel like, plays right along with this, just being a crazy politician and not knowing how to behave yourself. You're fucking doing cocaine and accidentally having the press walk in and accidentally letting the press see you and your wife abuse each other. This video of Macron getting slapped, I feel like brings a little more credibility to the theories surrounding this video right here. People are saying this is like a tiny little key bump, like spoon, and that there's like cocaine in this and stuff. I mean, the way they clear the stuff off this table is very suspect.
I'll be back in Poland. It's through my bathroom, huh?
Yeah.
It's literally.
Yeah.
We came through Germany.
Yeah.
And then we made it to
the German
France.
bedroom and
We got through the border.
Right.
Yeah.
So it would be a little bit of a drink.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Dude, he has that Hunter Biden look right now. Does he not look like Hunter Biden right here? Bro, this is that cocaine look that you get, apparently. See, look at the way. I mean, what is the deal with what they're saying? This guy's got a Coke spoon thing, and he is being really crazy. And it almost does look like there's powder residue on the table. What the fuck is that? Is that the reflection from his hand? That might be the reflection from his hand. But this is where he just picked that up off the table. That was from his hand. It went away when he moved it. But look at the way he takes this off the table. See, there's some little tool right here. There's some little thing that he picks up off the table. And then when Macron sits down and they realize, oh, it's not just us anymore. We've got a room full of the press walking in. And I got a little something right here. The way he gets rid of this is so telling to me. I don't know.
We got through the border.
Right. Yeah. So it would be a little bit of a drink.
Yeah.
You see, first he grabs it. He grabs it from there to sort of like hide it. I don't know if it's what is the deal with this piece of tissue? And why does he act all shady with it? And watch, after they're done taking their pics, he sort of like gets rid of it in a very suspicious manner.
Super.
Yeah.
On va bien. Merci. Merci.
Merci,
Thank you.
Dude, he doesn't even throw it out. He put it in his pocket. That is drugs. Guys, I'm done speculating. I've made my decision. That is drugs. The old Coke hide and slide, Rainey. Dang, is that what it's called? I'm not, I haven't done a lot of Coke. Hunter Biden, yes. Hunter Biden vibes, but also like Hunter Biden's face. What is the deal with that? Hold on, guys. I'm going to minimize myself so you can get a look at his face. This is the same look that Hunter Biden had on his face when he was taking selfies with prostitutes. It looks like Hunter Biden.
Make a photo and after that you will, it will be a lot of a drink.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at that face. I think that's like, when you start doing pharmaceutical grade stimulants, you get this sort of look.
Super.
Yeah.
Your nose actually grows bigger to accommodate more cocaine. Look at how much he looks like Hunter Biden right there. That guys, well, we know that they're probably related, right? These are probably fucking Freemasons, whatever they are. They're, they're all the families that run the fucking every goddamn country on the planet. They're all related.
On va bien. Merci. Merci.
He's got to be like, distant cousins with Hunter Biden. Not so distant, probably. Let's get a close-up of the Ugo wife's face. You want to? Are you sure you want that? Do you even know what you're asking for, Sniz? Hold on. Let me minimize the or disappear the Twitter. I wanted to see. Alex Jones had a video, though. Hold on one second, guys. I didn't already play this on here, did I? Holy shit, there's another angle of that tool the guy had. Why is this not coming up? Okay, hold on. I like Alex Jones' post. He put hold on, where is it? Where'd it go? Let me bring you guys back up here on Twitter. It says the puppet president of France, Emmanuel Macron, has been slapped in the face publicly by the creature masquerading as his wife. Couldn't have put it better myself. It's the wave for me, guys. It's the wave. Holy fuck, man. It's too good. What a fucking moron. How are people just so, dude, how are people this fucked up in the head? Look at this thing. Look at this. What is this? Oh my God. Sniz, you want a close up? You really do? Let's look at this fucking freak. Bro, she's like 80. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, promo code, welcome. Oh, and Holyoke Joe's up in here. What's up, Joe? She's like 80. She's like 80,000 years old. She's an ancient reptilian from Zeta Reticuli. I'm not even sure if that's where the reptilians are supposed to be from, but we're going to go with that. Oh yeah, let me go down here. I was going to take a look. Bro, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is scary, man. This is scary. Again, guys, I hate to sound like I'm being mean to ugly, fucking fucked up looking people or something. But how can the people of France trust a man that allegedly is married to what is allegedly a woman that looks like this? How can you trust his judgment on anything else? I mean, I get it. Ugly people need love too, but you gotta get love from other ugly people. Macron does not look ugly enough to be banging this fucking Planet of the Apes looking, wig wearing, fucking Jack Skellington looking reptilian, fucking bobblehead doll looking, fucking pinstripe, Pumpkin King, Planet of the Apes, pumpkin head ass bitch. Sorry, but guys, what is this? Dude, what is this? What kind of build is this? What kind of posture is this? This is not human. What? Is Candace portraying Macron's trans wife? What are we getting at? Look at this. This isn't a real person. This is not a real person.
Vous aussi, vous avez été victime des réseaux sociaux récemment. On a dit que vous étiez un homme sur les réseaux sociaux. D'abord, ça vous a blessé, ça?
Guys, I don't know, like, for real, and I'm totally not making jokes or anything like this. Guys, I think and I know she's old, guys. I know. But if we're going to consider the possibility that these people are possibly drug addicts, I mean, that kind of explains why her face is like looking the way that it looks these days. She's got that sort of like David Bowie look on her face, like when David Bowie talked about, or whatever. I saw some documentary, I remember, where it was like David Bowie talking about he had an all-white diet. All white, meaning he would basically just drink milk and snort cocaine. And when you do that, it kind of does this to your face. Your face gets drawn, your face gets too skinny, and I feel like you get, let me pull up a picture of David Bowie. Hold on. This look right here. Hold on. God damn it. It took me to a whole fucking montage. God damn it. Okay, well, we got about 100 pictures of David Bowie here, so I'll bring you guys over here. Do you guys know what David Bowie looks like? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, how the face gets drawn like this. The cheeks are too hollow, and they sort of get where the lips almost get thinner, and you start to see the teeth. Like, and their teeth kind of look fucking weird too. This look, when you just been drinking milk and snorting cocaine and smoking cigarettes. You know? Is Macron's wife actually David Bowie? Did we just discover the truth of the conspiracy? Not only is Macron's wife a man, but David Bowie went into hiding. He actually isn't dead. He is Emmanuel Macron's wife. I'm happy he's not dead, though. That's good to know. I just wish he got a better gig. Who am I to judge? He probably lives a wonderful life now, being able to smack Macron around all day, pretending he's a woman. It's probably not a bad life at all. I think you cracked the case. I think I did too. Macron's wife is actually David Bowie. Let's get back over to Twitter. Let me bring you guys over here. Because you know what Twitter has? Tits and ass, tits and ass. Oh, yeah. Gotta look out for tits and ass. And cocks and balls. Which is more likely what you'd see on my page. Okay. Let me X out of that. Ew, what the fuck? Some people are, oh my God. I love Twitter. I love Twitter, guys. There's people making all kinds of conspiracies, and I like this one. You can't grasp this. Emmanuel Macron's wife, Bridget, is a trans woman and might be his actual biological father. This shocking truth has been covered up for decades. It's beyond insane. The French are in the dark. Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigiano, who passed of a transvestite as his own wife in response to satanic Olympic Games. Ah, yes. Jesus Christ, guys. This is unbelievable. They're saying this is the same person. I'll sign on to that. I'll allow it. It's all very shocking to believe Emmanuel Macron got away with lying to France about his wife's gender until Xavier Passard shows his photo. I was blown away. Brigitte Macron is a man.
Pour vous, ou est-ce qu'elle était qu'un aboutissement, je veux dire, la transformation que vous avez.
This says Veronique, Brigitte Macron, and Martine, who became women after what?
Opéré à ce moment-là n'était qu'un aboutissement de quelque chose qui s'était produit avant.
Je crois qu'en fait, il n'y a pas de transformation parce que le psychisme est déjà féminin et l'individu, en l'occurrence moi, est déjà préparé à ce genre de mutation par nécessité, en ce sens qu'on se sent femme et on régularise une situation sans plus. Il n'y a pas mutation, il y a régularisation.
Vous êtes devenu complètement femme, donc vous avez été opéré il y a combien de temps?
J'aime pas tellement le mot devenir complètement femme. Oui. C'est-à-dire que nous devenons une sorte de femme pouvant copuler, mais nous pouvons...
Récemment, on a dit que vous étiez un homme sur les réseaux sociaux. D'abord, ça vous a blessé, ça?
C'est-à-dire, au début, j'ai regardé ça.
Someone edited the video. I love it.
D'un petit peu loin, j'en entendais parler.
Vous aussi, vous avez été victime des réseaux sociaux. Récemment, on a dit que vous étiez un homme sur les réseaux sociaux. D'abord, ça vous a blessé, ça?
C'est-à-dire, au début, j'ai regardé ça d'un petit peu loin.
Français. Une plainte explosive vient d'être déposée auprès du doyen des juges d'instruction de Paris, au cœur de l'affaire. Une accusation d'usurpation d'identité.
Oh my God, here we go.
D'une ampleur inédite. Jean-Michel Trogneux, né en 1945, est accusé d'avoir pris l'identité de sa sœur décédée, Brigitte Trogneux, pour se faire passer pour une femme, et ce...
Anybody in the chat speak French, please?
Depuis les années 1980. Selon la plainte, cet homme aurait utilisé des documents officiels falsifiés pour asseoir cette fausse identité, obtenue grâce à la complicité présumée de fonctionnaires publics. En 1992, à l'heure âgée de 47 ans, et sous l'identité de Brigitte,
omelette de fromage. Omelette de fromage. Oh, synthesizer's in here. What's up, bro? Oh, you guys could hear that fucking dog? God damn it. Scumbags. All right, let me scroll down a little bit, and I can't do that with you guys watching because you know what Twitter has? Tits and ass. Oh, yeah. Tits and ass. Tits and ass. Where's that one picture? There's one picture of her. Okay, well, here's Candace Owens talking about it. Who brought that up? Dark Match Gene in my chat? I haven't seen this. I don't keep up with Candace Owens like I should, apparently.
Crazy. Stop.
Hold on. Let's start this from the beginning here.
This is crazy. I'm talking crazy, 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 crazy. Stop everything. Pay attention. If you're driving, pull over. Just kidding. You don't have to pull over. You can keep driving, but you just prepare yourself for what is happening right now in France. So let me give you guys the background. Emmanuel Macron is the president of France. He is married to Brigitte Macron.
You guys know we could have avoided all of this. Do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember, but I promoted the other person. Remember during this was like 2016 or whenever it was, around during Trump's first term, where France had its election and Macron was picked over Marine Le Pen. You remember her? There's going to be a female, and it's funny because, you know, a lot of people think conservatives and Trump supporters like don't like the idea of female leaders. But a lot of conservatives / Trump supporters were supporting Miriam Le Pen? I forget. I just know the last name was Le Pen. And some of the, I don't remember exactly her policy positions and stuff that she ran on, but I remember people liking her vibe. Part of this was, I mean, let's be real. Part of this was because Milo Yiannopoulos was a big proponent of Donald Trump and also Marine Le Pen. So that's pretty much the only reason I had even heard about that whole deal. But Macron definitely, I remember whatever coverage I was seeing of Macron versus Le Pen made Macron look like a fucking weird pussy. And here we have it. I was right. I was right about my observations. All right, let's check out what Candace Owens has to say.
Okay. Their love story has always been extremely weird and extremely creepy. She is 70 years old, allegedly, and he is just 46 years old. So already right there, you have a 24-year age gap between them.
Dude, what is up, France? What is up, guys? I mean, what is going on over there? What do you guys put in your water? What's going on?
And at the very least, just looking into their love story, you're looking at what might be, because they changed the age throughout the years, a story of pedophilia. I'll tell you what their official narrative has been. The official narrative is that when Emmanuel was just 15 years old, he was a drama student at a school, and his teacher was Brigitte. And while he was very young, they somehow managed to fall in love. That would have made Brigitte way too old to be falling in love with a 15 or 16 or 14-year-old, depending on which article you're reading. But yes, apparently she was just so moved from his depth, this little boy's depth and the poetry and the way that he would write, that they fell in love, so much so that the now First Lady left her then husband, despite the fact that they had 3 kids. Okay, so that's the background story. Nobody cares. Doesn't matter. It happened so long ago. Now she's the First Lady. We should celebrate her. No, some major update now happening. Major update. So let me tell you about how I happened upon this story. There was just an article that was published in the Daily Mail. Here is the headline. The proof France's First Lady wasn't born a man. What? I was going, what? So I, of course, instantly read it, because what a bizarre thing that you're even needing to present proof that Brigitte Macron was not born a man. And embedded within the article, they showed 2 photos, and I'm going to show you right now. This is the first photo. This is allegedly Brigitte Macron when she was a little girl sitting on her mom's lap. But when I saw this photo, the first thing I noticed was that the person on the far left, the boy, that actually looks like Brigitte Macron. I'm taking you guys through my thought process. I saw this.
Oh, I get where they're, I understand this photo. This is the photo. I get it. People are comparing this photo to her, and it does look more like her than the daughter does.
But I was like, it actually looks like she might actually be the guy. Maybe she's a dead ringer for her brother, but I don't see any resemblance there with the little girl. They show the second photo, debunking another young photo allegedly of Brigitte Macron. But I thought when I looked at this photo that this looks way too new to be a photo of a 70-year-old when they were a child. Now, again, these are my thought processes. When I then read the article, there was no debunking whatsoever. They just were calling people that were saying otherwise far right, all the typical buzzwords, far right, conspiracy theorists, racist, sexist, it's homophobic, it's anti-Semitism. Just the thing that we are all now able to immediately look through. These names don't mean anything anymore. And that just makes me want to look further into the alleged theory.
Thanks to Kanye, all of those terms are officially useless. Thank you. Yay.
And I did. And holy smokes. So the quote unquote conspiracy theory is actually a 3-year thorough investigation that was conducted by journalists that were working with genealogists. It was published in 6 issues in Faits et Documents. I'm sorry, my French is not that good, but they published 6 issues unpacking what they had discovered after a 3-year investigation. And here is what they are saying, right? So again, I'm going to say allegedly, but this is what they have published. Their theory is that the First Lady, Brigitte Macron, was actually born Jean-Michel. So Bridget is actually John Michael. John Michael lived as a man for 30 years, fathered 5 children, okay, and then transitioned at the age of 30 to become Brigitte. Okay, now I'm just going to show you this before and after photo, just right here. They actually used, as a part of their investigation, Chinese software. And this is a side-by-side. It is such a dead ringer. It's crazy to me that you would not say that these 2 individuals look alike. This is potentially the same individual age. So on the left, when I'm showing you...
What the fuck? That's funny, man. That does look like her.
Is John Michael on the right.
I'm not saying this is real. I'm just saying that's look, guys, I'm still Candace Owens is trying to figure out if she's a man. I'm still figuring out if this is an alien or not. So I'm not convinced that she's human yet. I'm definitely not convinced that she's a man.
It is a photo of the First Lady, okay? Now, I will tell you why this has legs and why I'm going to encourage you to read the very long document that I read, which we will include in the link in bio. The first obvious reason that I am very much believing what they have published is because the First Lady is simply unable to produce any photos of herself throughout the first 30 years of her life. Guys, how easy to debunk this? If you say, Candace, no, actually, you lived as a man for 30 years. I lived for 30 years. I'm going to show you every photo of every year that I've lived. Here's me in college, right? Here's me while I was pregnant with my children. Here's me and my husband on our wedding day. There would be so many photos that Brigitte should have at her disposal if this is false, but they won't produce any. Nope. They're just calling everybody wrong and backwards and transphobic. Just produce the photos. Instead, the only photos they have produced that are circulating in the media are the photos that I just showed you. And as I said, the first photo, she looked.
That's kind of curious too. I mean, what? Hold on a second. Let's look. Let me look. Let me just Google. What's the bitch's name? Bridget. So, okay, let me bring you guys to this page. Everybody 100% lock it in. Oh, fuck. Candace also shows the French media talking about how hot Bridget was as a teacher. To me, that's a huge giveaway. Overcompensating in the media. No, you got a point there, Gene. All right, let me get you guys over to this tab. Let's just take a look. Now, Candace, what Candace said was pictures of her in before her 30s. I don't even know, like, I mean, I guess I'm not really, when is this from? I mean, this looks fairly old, but I don't know if she looks under 30 there. Is Candace right about this? Is this her when she's 30? All right, let's go back to Candace's video and see what the rest she has to say about this. Because I don't know, it is kind of weird. None of those pictures, those really don't look like she's very young in those. Like it goes from the childhood pictures to when she's already has laugh lines and stuff on her face. Sorry, I'm clicking around.
Looks more like the John Michael who she claims is actually her brother, who she won't just present to the public. If that is in fact your brother, please just go on a walk with him so we can capture it and say, no, she just happens to look like her brother. Here's John Michael. No, John Michael has disappeared. The genealogist just can't find a single trace of John Michael since Brigitte came into the public space at the age of 30. So John Michael existed for 30 years, according to the genealogist, okay? And then John Michael stops existing and Brigitte exists. But Brigitte doesn't exist for the first 30 years, okay? The second photo, the one that I said to you looked a little too recent for an alleged 70-year-old, well, yeah, they were able to debunk that. That's actually a photo of her daughter, her daughter Trefane. You can see now side by side. Of course, that is her daughter. It's a dead ringer for her daughter.
Well, that almost gives a little bit of credibility to just looking at the pictures and being like, which looks more like which. This is supposed to, and these people, this looks right. This doesn't look like Bridget.
So why would you colorize a photo and make it black and white and try to pass it as yourself when it is in fact your daughter? Now, I'm sure somebody will say, well, didn't come directly from the first lady. It is very obvious that they are trying to dissuade the narrative by producing these two photos, which are easily debunked.
Dude, this is one of the things, and not Terry, Dark Match Gene, whoever it was in the chat. Man, there is some, I'm not saying entirely 100% or anything, but there is some validity to being able to sniff something out just by seeing how the media is reporting on it, the mainstream, so to speak. Like, there's other topics we could talk about, guys, but you can, when they go, when you see multiple fact check articles that go to debunk something, I know a lot of the time people don't even read them. I get it. People are in echo chambers, and when they see a fact check and they see Snopes or something, they just go like, there's bullshit anyway. And you look, sometimes you're wrong, okay? Sometimes some of the fact checker Snopes or whatever, they get some stuff right and show receipts and whatever. And sometimes it's like you can go, okay, I get what they're saying. But then when you see a bunch of fact check articles and you're reading them, and you're just going, whoa, wait. This isn't actually debunking what you're saying it's debunking. Guys, I went through all this. I mean, we've been through this a bunch of times with the Kizo Visit, Visirizis. Kizovid Nizine Tizine. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You speak Hogan. Guys, it's the same thing you see with these articles where it says somebody said this and here's this. Isn't it crazy how people say this? And you just realize the whole article is like saying that people that make this claim are crazy, and they do bait and switch with what with what they're like supposed to do. They shift the goalpost within the article itself. They play all kinds of fucking games with these some of these debunk fact check articles. Then again, guys, it's worth reading them. Even guys, there's some times when I didn't want to read a debunk fact check article or whatever, video or something, because I went, man, this is going to require me. What if this is right and I'm wrong? This is going to require me to really rethink whatever. And I go and I read it and I'm like, oh, wow, this is bullshit. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Here's a second reason that I would say major red flags. Rather than just producing what should be ample evidence of your existence for the first 30 years of your life, they're suing. Yes, the First Lady actually sued two of the journalists that were involved in producing the story. Brigitte Macron, here's a headline from the Telegraph. Brigitte Macron sues women who claimed that she is transgendered. Well, something to note is what exactly Brigitte is suing for. She's suing them for violation of privacy and fundamental personal rights, plus illicit use of her image. But what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Like, why don't you say you completely lied and I can prove it and I'm going to ruin your entire lives, which you would just have to show, again, pictures of your first 30 years of life. But no, this is really just a tactic to pretend as if these journalists didn't produce concrete proof to substantiate their claims. Now, the two journalists being sued, by the way, are Amandine Roy and Natasha Ray, and they were eventually punished with symbolic fines for, I guess, invading the privacy of the First Lady. It's going to get even crazier, though, because journalists that worked on this case were also threatened. They sent the police to threaten them while they were conducting research. Natasha Ray, the woman that was punished with a symbolic fine, as she was conducting research, she reached out to somebody to ask some questions about the First Lady's upbringing, the first 30 years of the First Lady's life. And then what happened as she was examining these inconsistencies in the story was the police burst into her home on July 13th, 2021. They then took her into custody without being summoned on the pretext.
Holy shit, this goes back to 2021. I guess people weren't making a big enough stink about it. But it's probably the media fucking covering for this freak.
Of a complaint that was filed by one of the individuals that she had reached out to, Catherine Audoy. She was then released after 5 hours of tough interrogation with a lesson. And you shouldn't be doing this. They tried to humiliate her. They tried to threaten her. And of course, this only made the public even more interested in the story. She was also asked to produce a list of journalists with whom she had been in contact with. The police also seized her phone. That is not normal. None of this should be happening in a story that, again, would be so easy to debunk. They similarly arrested a man named Eric Verhey, another journalist working on the story.
No, dude, so that's, Dark Match Gene, like how the media covered up the Hunter Biziden, Liz App top story. Dude, I know I've talked about this before, but it's so telling to me the kind of control that the media really does have with some of these stories is nuts, guys. It's crazy. Like, we think, no story's going to get past us. We have social media. Dude, it's so fucked up. I did the Hunter Biden laptop parody song. Should I bring it up? I did the fucking parody song about the Hunter Biden laptop story Let me see if it's still on my channel or did it get removed? I think it's still up. Oh, okay, it is. I did the song about the the Biden diary. The laptop story, yeah, that's true. And I feel like with, you know, the right side, the conservative side of the aisle, they kind of are well aware of some of the crazy shit that was on there. And I feel like the people on the other side, the more Democrat, left-leaning people, whether it's Twitter, wherever the fuck, I bet a lot of them don't even realize how crazy some of that shit is. I mean, I did parody songs and stuff where I put some of the images that were from the laptop and the video and stuff. Some of these women that he's with look suspiciously young. And I mean, it's just, you know, he's going crazy. He's having a blast. And there's plenty of cocaine and guns and all kinds of stuff. And it's sort of like a thing that people on the other side are just like, oh yeah, who cares? The president's son is like gallivanting, snorting coke off of underage hookers' boobs and whatever. But then, guys, the diary thing, the Ashley Biden diary, that is crazy. How people don't. I'm saying, I get it, where people on the left might not know much about the Biden laptop thing, but people on the right well know about it. They've all shared each other's videos and looked and laughed and joked with each other about how the president's son is a fucking cokehead. The echo chambers within both sides of the spectrum at least allowed one side of the spectrum to really know. There's nobody who's like even slightly a conservative or Trump supporter that doesn't know about the laptop story, okay, with Hunter Biden. That is not the case with the Ashley Biden thing, okay? The Ashley Biden diary with the shower thing and all that, okay? When I made that parody song and I started sharing it and I told, there was some people in person, and this is how this gave me a really good litmus test as to what people actually know. Because I can post something and ask if people know about it, and there will be a portion of people that go Google it and tell me, oh yeah, I knew about this and whatever. You can't really know. When I was in person talking to different people about, oh, I did a new parody song. I redid Daughter by Pearl Jam and made it about Joe Biden showering with his daughter, which is in the diary. And people would go, what do you mean? What diary? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Oh, I didn't hear about that. What are you talking about? And I'm talking to people who are Trump voters, and they didn't even know. This, like, I'm sure some people think I'm making too big a deal about this, or it's like insignificant. It's not. This really, I don't know. This put things into perspective for me. That was a crazy, and it should be damn well that they know that is a crazy enough story that they needed to bury it to the extent that people on both sides didn't even know about it. I was just blown away at how people didn't know about the Ashley Biden thing. Blown away, guys. I would be at Bubba Army events, and a lot of the Bubba Army is pro-Trump. Probably 99% of the Bubba Army is pro-Trump. And I was telling people about it at one of the events, the pumpkin patch thing I went to, and like Barp and Bubba 199 and stuff that I went to with Bubba Army fans there. And I'd be talking to them. I did an Ashley Biden song. They're like, what are you talking about, Ashley Biden? Who's that? I'm like, dude, what the fuck happened? What? They just like shut down the internet. I mean, like, over one little fucking story to protect a to protect an old, decrepit pedo. What does this guy look so mad? Kevin Gable, welcome. Because this guy was apparently harassed and whatever for looking into whether the French Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, if his wife is trans. This guy got harassed a little bit for it, apparently.
Clearly had no charges. They just wanted to question him. I don't know, guys. You tell me, what are you thinking? If you're alleging that somebody was a man for the first 30 years of their life, why go through these efforts when you could just show photos? But of course, obviously, to tell a lie this big, you'd have to have a very good memory. This is actually something that Judge Judy used to say. I used to love watching Judge Judy when I was young with my grandma.
Guys, what the fuck? No way. This is the second mention of Judge Judy on here. I have not seen this video. I only pulled this up because it came up and Dark Match Gene in my chat mentioned it. That is weird. That's the synchronicity, guys. That's how we know we're on the right path here.
And she used to say,
the universe is speaking.
You know, if you don't lie, you don't have to have a good memory. But if you lie, you got to have a very good memory. And what keeps happening throughout the years of her being the first lady, so since 2017, every time the first lady tells a story about herself in her childhood, the math doesn't quite math, right? For example, she recalled living alone in the United States during Neil Armstrong's moon landing in 1969. The only problem...
We didn't go to the moon. Busted.
...is that she would have been just 16 years old. What? 16-year-old living alone in the United States? But if the theory is true, that she's actually Jean-Michel, who is 8 years older, which would make the First Lady 78 years old today, then that story would make perfect sense. Because, of course, you could live alone when you are 24 years old in the United States. Again, there are multiple examples of the First Lady just being too young in terms of the past stories that she keeps telling. Then there is the remarkably strange case of Brigitte's alleged ex-husband. So just to remind you, jog your memory, the story goes, she was married, right? And at the age of 40 years old, she fell in love, so much so that she left her husband because she just loved this 16-year-old or 15-year-old or 14-year-old drama student so much. She left her husband and her 3 kids to be with him, okay? So it should be pretty easy to find her ex-husband that she had 3 kids with. But it turns out that they can't find that man. Yeah, back when Emmanuel Macron was elected president, journalists all over the world, international journalists, were obviously prying into his background and her background, and they just could not find this man. Allegedly, his name is André Louis Auxier, and internationally, they just couldn't locate him. Allegedly, he is a banker, or was a banker, because now they say he died, just suddenly died. But he was allegedly a banker.
The Clintons or Pfizer.
So it's very weird that there wouldn't be a trail for journalists to find him. In 2017, during the presidential election, they tried to interview him, and it was all of their attempts in vain. In fact, in an article that was published in French magazine, Gala magazine, they titled the article as if he had never existed. So that is in the year that he became president. They were just like, this other guy doesn't really seem to exist. It also seems to be the case that every time the press is trying to assist the narrative that he did exist, they keep accidentally showing photos of other men. For example, in 2018, France 3 TV produced a movie.
Show us receipts. Give us receipts.
Entitled Brigitte Macron, un roman français. And they showed this photo very quickly, featuring Brigitte and her first husband, André Louis Auxier. But it turns out that upon inspection, that actually isn't him. It's actually an old faculty photo, because it has been confirmed that Brigitte was a teacher. Obviously, that's how she fell in love with the young student Emmanuel. And here is the full photo of the faculty. Oopsies. We got it wrong again.
What the fuck? Is she right about this?
Guys, when I tell you that there is so much proof to this claim, I'm not a person that just pushes out these narratives.
Kevin Gable said, I'm confused. Which one is a man? So, Kevin Gable, I know you got in here late, but there's this viral clip going around, and it's Macron when he's about to get off of a plane. They open the door of the plane, and right as they open the door, Macron's wife like smacks him in the face with both hands. She just kind of like pushes him like that. So this story's going viral. I've never really looked into this shit about people thinking she's trans. She looks freakish. She looks like something like out of the movie Planet of the Apes mixed with Tim Burton or some Tim Burton film. She looks fucking decrepit and disgusting and fucking weird and fucked up. I'm more concerned as to whether she is even human or not, but everybody else, I just farted. Oh, I did it again. But everybody else is concerned as to whether she was born a man or not. And this is the person, where is she? Just pulled up a picture. Where'd it go? This woman, in quotation marks, right here, people are saying like she was initially born a man and transitioned like around age 30. And most of the pictures you see and everything is her after age 30 when they're saying she transitioned.
Oopsies. We got it wrong again. Guys, when I tell you that there is so much proof to this claim, I'm not a person that just pushes out these narratives, right? I'm not a person that's like, come with me and we're going to examine QAnon or Pizzagate. I am telling you that this
Pizza, don't hey, easy there. Look, pizza, there's a little bit of there's at least a little bit, sometimes a lot of truth to some of these other theories that are floating around out there. I'll just say that.
Has legs. And you know it has legs because the press is doing their usual bit of trying to dismiss it as a far-right conspiracy theory that is being pushed by people who are backwards and racist and homophobes and transphobes. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to gaslight us anymore. It is very simple to debunk this. It is so simple to debunk this. There should be so much evidence. In fact, if this was me and someone lied about the first 30 years of my life, I would do a press conference. I would have my brother there. I'd be like, here's my brother, John Michael. Yes, we do look alike. Okay. But you guys are crazy. And then I would have college friends there. I have tons of photos of me growing up, my entire family. And then I would say it is harmful to produce conspiracy theories. Now that we have debunked this, let's talk about the harm of conspiracy theories. They're not doing any of that. Instead, they're just scrambling.
Well, then. Didn't expect it to get that real in here. We just like to have fun. I don't know what just happened. I guess Macron is married to some old man. That's what it sounds like. Rainey, good night. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's check out this fucking Trump tweet thing. Okay. Go back down here. So this is a good transition, no pun intended, to the trans topic. This is the tweet or the truth, whatever, that Trump put out. I don't know why. What is the deal with the Truth Social? Why is he still over there? What is going on? So, was she sporting a schlong when she was dating 15-year-old Macron? Dude, I don't know. I don't know if they had the proper sex change operation techniques like they do now. I don't know. I mean, the fake vagina thing, it seems a lot easier to make a permanent gash in somebody than it is. I know the phalloplasty stuff that's complicated. Making a penis out of like random patches of flesh from other parts of your body, that's new. I know that's new. But chopping your cock and balls off, that's probably been around a while. No offense to anybody. So let's check out the tweet. I don't know who this Yasher Ali. I have no clue who this person is. He's got a check. They'll give the check to anybody. I have one. President Trump is threatening to withhold federal funds from the state of California if trans girls are allowed to participate in sport events where other participants share the same gender identity. He also says he's ordering local authorities to block trans girls from participating. This could be a violation of the 10th Amendment. Let's check it out. California, under the leadership of radical left Democrat Gavin Newsom, continues to illegally allow men to play in women's sports. Why is this in quotations like that? This week, a transition male athlete at a major event, won everything and is now qualified to compete in the state finals next weekend. Is this person that won everything? Why are things in quotes like this? What's the deal with this? Did this person actually go and like sign up for every event and just fucking clean house? Because that would be funny. And I would say that is probably not, this is probably someone doing a bit. Like that guy, who's the guy? Alex Stein is friends with that guy who pretended to be trans. Remember that fucking, who was that guy? They wore a fucking dress and a wig and everything for a while. This is probably a bit. If someone actually went and just fucking cleaned house, this is probably a bit. Like, they're proving a point. As a male, he was a less than average competitor. As a female, this transition person is practically unbeatable. This is not fair and totally demeaning to women and girls. Well, can I be the one to say, let it be demeaning? Why do we need women's sports? I feel like this is one of the, like, I'm not stealing this talking point. I have not heard anyone make this point. It sounds like something that would come from Andrew Wilson or something like that. But can I say, is the women's sports thing? I mean, I feel like this might be a good sort of natural progression to have the trans people take over women's sports. I mean, if you are someone who is more your pro traditional roles for people in America and whatever for the West, if you think that women shouldn't be focusing on careers and whatever, and then they should go home and learn how to cook and raise children, this is good. I see people getting angry that girls aren't getting sports scholarships and stuff. So what? You can go to college and pursue a career and then be angry that you didn't have kids when you're in your late 30s, I mean, maybe this is a good thing. I feel like this is like, the women doing women's sports. This is like feminism, saying that let the women play the same sports the men's play. We'll just call it women's basketball and women's whatever that no one else is going to ever watch ever. I mean, am I wrong, guys? I don't have an opinion on this. I'm doing the math. I'm observing the culture. I'm just reporting here. I don't have an opinion. You guys play whatever fucking sports you want. And you fight with the men and try to make them leave. If you think that's what you want to do, have at it, guys. Let's see. Where were we? Demeaning the girls and women. Okay, please be hereby advised that the large-scale federal funding will be held back, maybe permanently, if the executive order on the subject matter is not adhered to. The governor himself said it is unfair. I will speak to him today to find out which way he wants to go. In the meantime, I am ordering local authorities, if necessary, to not allow the transition person to compete in the state finals. This is a totally ridiculous situation. Do they have footage of this person absolutely kicking ass? Kicking girls' asses and taking girls' names? Literally taking girls' names? Oh, I got jokes. Hold on. Let's see if there's any recent footage. This is May 21st. A.B. Hernandez. So they're saying the girl jumped up there afterward? Holy shit. Notice how the biological women have the tight shorts on where you can actually verify that they don't have a penis. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Look at that ween flopping up. I didn't actually see it, but I saw the way that her shorts allowed for that to happen without there being too much attention drawn to it. Good thinking. Yeah, guys, I think if you are a Trump supporter, if you are a conservative and you want women back in the kitchen, I think you guys should allow these trans people to play the sports, because eventually women are just going to get fed up and either quit, or eventually it'll be all trans women who are dominating women's sports. And that will discourage women from trying to go out and be the fastest runner and get a athlete scholarship to go to college and learn something stupid besides child rearing and baking. Who's with me? All right, so let's where are we? Here, let me do that number. We got to be careful with Twitter, guys. If I just start scrolling, we have no idea what kind of filth and debauchery we're going to come across.
What was the SMR?
Oh, my. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this.
Here with A.B. Hernandez of Rupa Valley High School. Amazing 3 wins today. What was the SMR?
SMR, long, triple, and then I have high later.
And you still got the high jump. Amazing performances
Thank
so
you.
far. How are you feeling just about how the day went today at the Ontario Relays?
Very excited. I don't know. I did not, after long, I was like, oh, maybe I'm not going to do as good as triple, but I'm glad that I performed pretty well, and I'm just excited.
What do you think really clicked today in the triple jump?
I don't know. I think I was really nervous. I was so nervous. Like, just jump good, please. After coming off of the big win at Arcadia, I was like, you can't just go out of nowhere. Like, you have to do good. So I'm just glad that I performed pretty well today.
And then coming off of last year, you had such an amazing season. Now, as a junior, I believe, like, how are you using all that momentum and just all that energy to try to put into a great year this year?
I just keep telling myself, you are number one, and it's yours to lose. So if you lose it, it's fine, but just keep that drive to get it back.
Well, you know what? She's almost passing. I'm not too insulted by this one, actually. This is she would make a good lady boy in fucking Taiwan or wherever the fuck they do all that. Thailand. I'm looking handsome tonight, or this trans woman is? I've got competition tonight. It's on my screen right now. Good God. Is this everyone bitching about the same one? Trans track athlete wins varsity girls competition after previously placing last against JV boys. This is the same one.
Child, you're
AB Hernandez, right?
Is that even registering as you're competing?
honestly, no. I'm still a child. You're an adult, and for you to act like a child shows how you are as a person. And nothing I can do about people's actions. Just focus on my own.
On Saturday, other competitors beat Hernandez in 2 of her 3 events. She won first place in triple jump. She is not currently ranked nationally, and she has been outperformed by over 2 meters in her jumps by girls competing in states that have banned gender-affirming care.
All I thought was, I don't think you understand that this puts your idiotic claims to trash. Now you have no proof that I can't be beat.
Oh my God.
Hernandez of Rupa Valley High School. Amazing.
So what, this was afterward or what? She said that and then she cleaned house? Dude, that's the thing. I mean, the thing about you can't be beat, that is only a portion of the argument here of, that's the only a portion of the reasoning as to why people don't like this. I mean, right? Like this is what I mean, just going by definition. I'm not trying to be, exclusive or whatever, or a bigoted or something, but this is what are biological men that want to transition to become a woman, that are they're biological men that are invading biological women's spaces. I mean, I don't this is the thing. I think people have not really come to terms with that or understand that, or have even had the conversation as to whether they think that that's okay. This is like a slow thing that sort of like started happening where it's sort of like, we heard of one situation here or there back in the day. You would like never hear about it, but I'd say like 10 years ago or less, you would hear of like one trans athlete and whatever. And Joe Rogan made a big stink about that one trans MMA fighter that was like breaking women's jaws and stuff. You would like hear once in a while. Now it's like you hear this all the time. And I know it's not the majority. I know it's still a very small percentage of women's athletics that are being dominated by biological men. But it's like now it's more of a thing where you may not, it's more common now. And it might not be that it actually directly affects the majority of women or something like that, but it does affect enough of a portion of women to actually consider having the conversation. Before it's like we just kind of like people are kind of going along with it and letting it happen, and some people are scared to bitch because they don't want to seem like a piece of shit, and other people that do want to bitch are scared. And like this is just, we've kind of put the cart before the horse a little bit here.
3 wins today. What was the SMR?
SMR, long, triple, and then I have high later.
And you still got the high jump. Amazing performances so far. How are you feeling just about how the day went today at the Ontario Relays?
Very excited. I don't know. I did not, after long, I was like, oh, maybe I'm not going to do as good as triple, but I'm glad that I performed pretty well, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, man, I don't know. The way things are trending, just like in the culture, guys, I feel like I don't know if this is. I feel like this is trending a little bit. I don't think this is gonna really die down too soon. And I'm not saying I think that it's right that Trump is supposed to try to force, basically force the culture just by saying, oh, we're not going to, I'm going to withhold whatever. I'm not necessarily saying that that's a good thing or not. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like ideally we could keep the fucking law out of this. I mean, maybe some communities should let it fucking happen and see what happens. If you people that support this, you think it's a good idea, raise your children with it. Go ahead, have at it. Take them to the drag shows and whatever. Uh-oh, here we go. Board meeting erupts over trans athlete policies. Let's check this out.
Founder of Awake Illinois, and is leading these efforts and joins us now. Shannon, great to have you back on the program. First, what was it like in that room last night?
Gay.
It can get fairly heated, and you can feel the ideological divide, in the room. It was interesting, very symbolic. The left side of the room was pro this boy being able to play on a girls' team, and the right side of the room, where we had the yellow signs that said protect girls' sports and defend Title IX, you could very well see there's a clear divide on this issue.
So I'm looking at one of the 3 races. This was provided to us, the video from Doug Crine. He is the father we had on this program yesterday, whose 7th grade daughter finished in 4th place in one of these races that included the biological boy. She was put out of medal contention because of that person's participation in the race.
Oh, boo-hoo. She was 4th. Tell her to run faster.
Joined us here yesterday and said this.
All the parents that we talked to afterwards were in shock and couldn't believe that they were allowing boys to run against girls. It's like they're trying to erase women's sports, erase women. It's no longer Mother's Day. I have no words for it. I don't know.
Hold on. We've gone from my daughter can't get a medal because she was too slow to get in 3rd place. There's one boy that they were competing. The rest are women, and she got 4th place. We've gone from that to Mother's Day is canceled now. I don't know where the fuck that came from, but that's interesting. No, I think this guy's got it all wrong. Guys, I actually had an epiphany during the stream because I've never actually laid this out or spelled this out, but this might actually be good. I'm sure if you ask this guy, he would say, yeah, it'd probably be better if my daughter found a good man who is a successful and good guy and settled down with him in her 20s and got on with her family, and she'd still have, by the time you raise your kids, you still got your whole life ahead of you, and you got the kids out of the way, and you could, I bet if you asked him, he would agree to all of that. Instead of if you said, hey, do you want your daughter to be third place, get a medal and a scholarship so she can go to college, get some degree? She's going to be in debt and she's going to pursue a career, and then she's going to be in her 30s. It's going to be too late for her to have kids, and she's going to die alone, or maybe with and living in a fucking trailer with her husband or something. I mean, he would say, no, I don't want her to get an athletic scholarship. I want her to learn how to bake cookies.
I just don't understand. And where are all the feminists that fought for equal rights, equal protection for women? And they're nowhere to be heard now.
So, Shannon, what's the answer to that? Where are they? Where are they to stand up and fight for girls in girls' sports?
Well, it's taking parents.
You know what they should do? You want trans women out of women's sports? You need to change women's sports into baking, cooking, laundry, cleaning. Who mops best? Who sweeps and mops best? You should have a vacuum cleaner competition where you have to vacuum up like a 10 by 10 area of carpeting where they spill potting mix soil on it or something like that. You change women's sports to stuff that they actually need in life. You see how quickly the trans men get out of women's sports. That's what we need to do. Women's Olympics is going to be best sweeper, best vacuumer, best baker. Who makes the best lasagna?
Right now who are in the thick of this, Sandra, to stand for their children. The feminists of, back in the day, they're standing outside of Tesla dealerships holding signs saying, 8647 and say.
Guys, we lost a couple viewers because of what I just said. It was worth it though. Bob D, welcome. We got Bob D in here. That's how we know I'm doing good. Hey, Dark Match, love these dark times. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Great idea. Thank you, Dark Match Gene. I thought so myself, right? Change the women's sports to non-men type sports and just do like best cook, best baker, best house cleaner. Who can get a baby to drink a bottle faster,
Save our democracy. They have abandoned these girls. They are far left ideologues, and we're really sick and tired of hearing their singing. It's out of tune, and they can exit stage left. We, the parents, are going to take back control over all of these issues that are affecting our.
All those metaphors are just completely uncalled for.
Children, and we want to see Title IX restored.
I mean, just speaking to that father yesterday and watching the video of his daughter, I mean, these girls, they were left in the dust. I mean, there was no competition. This is the boy who just quite clearly, he
all these other girls were eating that trans dust.
Won all three of these races and didn't even give the girls a shot in the race. These are some of the parents that showed up at the meeting last night who they say that these trans athletes, they're being targeted and that this is a political issue. Listen to some of this.
I'm here because a junior high trans girl, a beloved child of God, is being pinpointed.
The use of a student's image, likeness, or name to further a political agenda is abhorrent and unacceptable.
We have a group of adults within our community that have chosen to target a child within our own community.
So, Shannon, what do you say to these parents who say that their children?
What, these are the pro-trans people? What are they what targeting? Okay, if people are like bullying this person, that's probably, you know what, maybe that is good. I don't know. No, if they are bullying this person or intimidating them, that's, I don't know. That is that's a little out of bounds there. This is a minor, correct? Yeah, if this person's under the age of 18, I think that's a little bit rough, maybe.
Children, their trans children, are being targeted. That this is a political issue, and that their kids, one of which was a dad who said he was there for a junior high trans girl, that their children are being targeted. How do you respond to them?
Sure. Well, unfortunately, their children, Sandra, are being exploited by lies of gender ideology that tell children they're born into the wrong body and that they can become the opposite sex. That is not true. XY cannot become XX. We have sex-separated sports for equal opportunities to compete. End of story. And children can be as unique in their expression as they want to be. We celebrate that. We want to nurture that. But we have to do it ethically and with compassion. We cannot lie to children, particularly vulnerable, and confuse children. And I'm sorry for this boy that he has national attention on him. But the people entrusted with him exploited him the minute they said, sure, you can, as a boy, compete on the girls' team. And now we're at where we're at. We're having to file this federal complaint with the hopes that federal funds will be frozen and we can protect these children.
I just want to finish off with this because this is often a question when you get two parents on opposite sides like this in a room. So what's the solution? And these were some of the solutions offered in the room.
Dark Match Gene says the trans one is the one targeting. Johnny Z, really? You're getting stuff blocked in here, bro? No, it's coming up on my end. Did you type something else? I'm seeing tennis player Dr. Renee Richards, 1970s. I think I'm seeing all your messages. Fat Pig, are you headed out? Thanks, lover. Thanks for your support. I'll be done here soon. We're almost at 2 hours, and I got a couple other things, but I'm not going to be on super late.
Listen.
If we want to go the extra mile, and maybe we should, let's organize an open or co-ed division of play. Then for sports like track and field, girls can opt in on that. It'll be interesting to see how many actually do, given that there's some unfairness, but at least there's an opt-in there.
Maybe give trans students a different class of sports to compete against one another there. But I think for women, I don't think we stand a chance against a male.
This is all part of the discussion, Shannon, as you well know. This is really something I've got in my hands right here. That you filed this federal civil rights complaint against Naperville 203 Community Unit School District. We'll be following all of this, Shannon, and we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right, talk again soon. John.
Fuck. So you want me to, let me check this Renee Richards. Let me look it up. I'm not familiar with this person. At least I don't think I am. Shit. Renee Richards is an American ophthalmologist and former tennis player who competed on the professional circuit in the 70s and became widely known following male to female medical affirmation when she fought to compete as a woman in the 1976 US Open. Damn, bitch. This is this year. Here, let me bring you guys to this tab with me. We'll take a little gander at this. Groundbreaking tennis player offered her thoughts on transgender participation in the sport last April in tennis. Is this something? Is this just an ad? You fucking scumbags. Keeping men out of women's sports. That's the title of the executive order President Donald Trump signed on February 5th in the East Room of the White House. In keeping with promises Trump made on the campaign trail, this sweeping mandate essentially prohibits transgender women and girls from competing in women's sports. A failure to comply, per the order, will result in a loss of federal funding. From now on, says Trump, women's sports will only be for women. The WTA Tour has been largely on the sidelines of this cultural hot-button issue, surprisingly given that perhaps the most prominent transgender athlete in history made her mark in women's tennis nearly a half-century ago. Guys, they done been in the trenches. Renee Richards began playing professional tennis in 1976. Prior to 1976 U.S. Open, Richards, then 42, refused to take a chromosomal test and sued the USTA alleging discrimination by gender. In the summer of 77, New York State Supreme Court Judge Alfred Ascione, ruled in Richards' favor, reasoning, this person is now a female. Oh, God. Richards lost in the first round of singles to Virginia Wade, the Wimbledon winner earlier that summer, but reached the final in doubles before losing to Martina Navratilova and her partner Betty Stove, which is what she should be an athlete in. The stove. That should be her main her main sport is cooking. Sorry guys. Where were we? Stove. Richards would go on to crack the top 20 before retiring at age 47. She would remain part of the tennis firmament, shout out Flat Earthers, including a stint coaching Navratilova. She was featured in Sports Illustrated in 2019. As recently as last year, at age 90, she attended the U.S. Open. Despite her personal experience and expertise in the medical science, she has been a muted voice in the current debate. Sports accidental transgender pioneer, the London Telegraph called her. With a mix of personal anecdotes, legal history, and journal citing scholarship, Richards offered her opinion in a position paper. Richards' recommendations are strikingly consistent with the Trump policy as well as the LPGA's rules, which state that players must be biologically female at birth or have transitioned before puberty. Interesting. The WTA's policy, which distinguishes between biological sex and gender identity, and can be read here, relies heavily on the concentration of a player's testosterone. Richards gave Sports Illustrated consent to print her position paper from last April. It reads as follows. All right, let's check this out. So they're saying this transgender athlete from the 70s who played tennis seems to have a similar position as Donald Trump, which is intriguing. What's Scott Starbert saying? Trans lady boys should compete against other trans lady boys. It'll end this crap real quick because they only do this to destroy the females. The parents and teachers who push that stuff on kids should be sent to El Salvador. Well, this is kind of what I was saying. If this is a minor, if the parents or those other parents are actually targeting this minor, I mean, it's pushing it a little bit, right? I mean, it's a minor they're obviously influenced by a bunch of other things. There's a bunch of factors that go into this. And attacking the minor just because this person's like, oh, I may or may not be confused and I identify as the opposite sex, and so I'm going to go play those sports and whatever. It's not like this person is, if this person was like abusing the girls in the locker room or something, then, I don't know. Then that's a different conversation. So this is the letter from the trans athlete that seems to align with what Trump is saying. I don't fucking know. Let's read it. Greetings and thank you for the invitation to participate in our meeting. The timing of your invitation is significant for two reasons. One, the subject of transgender women participating in sports has recently aroused considerable public interest, yet very little has been discussed about tennis. And two, although it has taken many more years than I had expected, I am finally now being asked to contribute to the discussion, and I am reasonably certain that I am still in a sound mind enough in my 90th year to attempt to do so. My remarks cover three subjects. One, my own personal history. Two, my interpretation of the current literature on the subject, mostly from Canada and the USA. And three, some policy recommendations. So let's check it out. To begin, I have spent a lifetime in sports, almost half as a man, half as a woman. In perspective, I won my first tennis tournament in 1944 at the age of 10. Jesus. Sunrise Tennis Club Boys Champion, my first women's tournament in Hawaii in 1976 at the age of 44, and my first WTA event in Pensacola the following year. As a boy, I excelled at sports, mostly baseball and tennis. I was considered by major league scouts in baseball, and I had success in tennis in many different categories: high school, college, U.S. Navy, and Eastern and national amateur events. Open tennis only came to exist in 1968. My entire tennis career in boys, juniors, and men was as an amateur. My lifetime in sports is still ongoing. I have been a member of the Ladies Golf League at the public private club near my home for the past 20 years. My sex reassignment surgery was in 1973. I moved to Newport Beach, California in 75, played amateur tennis happily at the John Wayne Club there. And when I won an amateur women's tournament in La Jolla, I was outed on national television. Ouch. I had had no thought of playing professional women's tennis until I was informed that I would not be allowed to do so, and then for all kinds of conscious and subconscious reasons, I sued to be allowed to play at the U.S. Open. I had been enjoying great success in the profession. I was ordained for since birth. I had no wish to become a professional women's tennis player, but when I was told I would not be allowed to do that, and when letters started pouring in to me from people from all walks of life who had felt discriminated against, I took my case to court. Had I not been told I couldn't do something other women could do, I would not have sued to play. So she's saying she was told she couldn't, so that's why she pushed so hard. I felt I had the same rights as other women. At the time, the term transsexual was used to describe someone like me and like Christian Jorgensen before me. The term transgender had not been invented yet. When I played in South America, headlines in the newspapers blared cambio sexo, sex change. I was considered virtually a unique case. Data in 2024 suggests now maybe 1% of the population is transgender. I sued the USTA and the WTA, and in a landmark decision, the New York State Supreme Court Judge Alfred Ascione agreed with me and with my two affidavits, one from the gynecologist and the other from Billie Jean King, that I was a woman and entitled to play in the U.S. Open 1977. Critical to his decision is the fact that he made it in reference to me alone. He said nothing about transgenders or transsexuals. The decision was in favor of Renee Richards, period. At the time, there were no studies of performance abilities of people like me. I became a registered member in good faith of the WTA. How much longer is this? Jesus Christ, really? Holy fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. My experience in tennis. You gotta be oh my God. You have to be kidding me. I'm not reading all of this. So mixed double, but whether she's talking about other people's reactions in tennis, let her play. She can't play with men anymore. Da da da. I played as a man against man, had wins over the blah 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 blah. She's saying, I had the experience of playing against a man, a close friend, after I had become a woman, after my transition, who had been an even competitor of mine when I was a man. I was no longer a match for him. And in women's tennis, I had experience of frequently playing against da 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 da. Okay. What does she go down to the parts where she's saying what we need to do? Okay, it's close. Never played another 35 and over event. I began to think of myself, what if I had been 25? Would it have been fair to me to compete against a woman? Compete as a woman. I began to think more and more about the age as a factor for my experience and for the future. I began to consider that age was what had allowed me to compete at the WTA tour with minimal advantage, if any, and that my obsessive physical training during my lifetime on tour was also contributory in helping me maintain some of my physicality I had lost during my transition. Both important considerations in informing my decision later on. Opinion later on. Now for the second part of my remarks, interpretation of the current literature on the subject of transgender women in sports. The literature on all of this is voluminous. Most of it is produced within the past few years and derived mainly from American, Canadian, and a few Swedish studies. I can only summarize them here, and my interpretation of them, although it may have some value coming from a doctor who has personal experience with the matter, is nevertheless for sure subjective. I caution you as well with old adage, a doctor who treats himself or herself has a fool for a patient and a fool for a doctor. Interesting. The obvious male advantage is taller, narrower hips, wider shoulders, less lower body fat, higher muscle mass, large hearts and lungs, higher hemoglobin, giving greater cardiovascular capacity and oxygen transportation. In track sprinting, the performance gap is 12% between men and women. After 12 months of testosterone suppression in transgender women, muscle strength loss has been found to be reduced by only 5%. Johanna Harper, an elite athlete, runner, and transgender woman, states that strength and body muscle of transgender women is still above cisgender women even after 3 years of testosterone suppression. A Swedish study shows that testosterone suppression reduces male advantage by only 5% reduction of strength. Similar to the U.S. study by Joanna Harper, and 83% of male advantage is retained in transgender women. And this is all coming from a trans athlete here. So many anatomical sex differences driven by testosterone in male puberty are not reversible. Estrogen therapy will not reverse most male athletic performance parameters. Lowering testosterone levels to less than 10 mole L decrease muscle mass, but not to female biological levels. Decreases. Okay, so I'm not familiar with how they do testosterone levels and stuff. I've never been tested. Lowering testosterone levels to whatever this the 10 nmol L decreases. So this level, you lower testosterone to less than 10 whatever, decreases muscle mass, but not to female biological levels. So you reduce the testosterone. I guess this is like the standard for, I don't know, when you transition to female, they try to get your testosterone down to 10 something, which sounds crazy low. I mean, I always thought of people saying testosterone is like in the hundreds, right? All right, let's get through this quick. My iPad's dying. Okay. Yeah, okay. So average female levels are about 3 to 5, but the IOC requirement is only to lower it to 10. So they say 10 isn't even enough to get it down to female biological levels, and women average female are 3 to 5, but the IOC requirement is only to lower it to 10. And that's provably not enough. Estrogen therapy does not affect most of the anatomical structure of biological males. Hemoglobin levels are lowered by estrogen therapy, and maximum aerobic effort is lowered, but only if testosterone levels are lowered to biological female range, which is much lower than 10 required of transgender women. Male physiological advantage from former testosterone exposure in puberty is transgender women is permanent, including brain masculinization, heart size, stroke volume, lung capacity, bone structure, mass, However, some modifiable characteristics from estrogen therapy and testosterone deprivation have been reported to mitigate muscle strength and aerobic capacity from physical training. So basically, she's saying it's like the data we have now shows that it's not fair. It seems to be what they're saying. Anatomical advantage cannot be modified by estrogen. Critical point: male anatomy and physiology cannot be reformatted by estrogen therapy in transgender women because testosterone has driven permanent effects from early life exposure. This statement reflects the importance of male puberty. Enough statistics. A few words of caution. Statistics can be used to reinforce an opinion on almost any subject. Be that as it may, here are my policy recommendations for the WTA based on my personal experience, in particular from 76 to present, almost 50 years, and on my review of the current literature of the subject, transgender women in women's sports competition. 1, I believe that having gone through male puberty disqualifies transgender women from the female category in sports. Now, this is a double-edged sword here, because that if this was established as a standard for women's sports, this is only going to encourage more transgender children to try to transition and take hormone blockers when they're young. The Lupron, whatever stuff, chemical castration shit, as the conservatives say, which they're probably right about. So yeah. And this is honestly probably more fair. I mean, this is like probably a fair observation. Having gone through male puberty disqualifies transgender women from female category. But yeah, that's going to encourage more adolescent men that want to transition to women and do sports. It's going to encourage them to do that as a minor. I believe that a retained physical advantage persists in such individuals and does not allow for an equal playing field despite reducing testosterone levels in the blood. This advantage persist, and it can be mitigated by age to a yet unknown degree. The opinion of Judge Astione, my personal gynecologist, in 1976, Billie Jean King, and myself was based on knowledge of the subject almost 50 years ago. We did not have the science back then. So she's saying she disagrees with it. Wow. Medical science has progressed since that time and reflects my current knowledge and opinion. I am in agreement with the comment made by Mian Bagger, a transgender golfer from Denmark. She said, what I also believe: gender identity is subjective. It cannot prescribe a stable basis for sports clarification. It is irrelevant to sports clarification, which is based on physiological characteristics. The problem of what to do with prospective transgender athletes at scholastics, club, and professional levels in many sports is currently ongoing. It is possible that with the use of puberty-blocking hormones, there may be a time when prospective transgender women and girls may not have to go through male puberty. Their inclusion in sports as women will have to be reevaluated if and when that happens. I thank you for your invitation and me discussing the subject. All right. Let me get rid of this. All right, guys. My shit's about to shut down for real. I got to get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dark Times with Dark Match Steve. We kind of went down some rabbit holes there. But it was a good time. Fuck that. Send them to Jake Hudson's house. Oh, fuck. Is this still on my page? Where's my groomer song? Did that get deleted from YouTube? I think it did. Uh-oh, guys. It got deleted. I was going to play my groomer song, like maybe one line from it or something. Damn it, I don't have it saved at the top. Son of a bitch. There's no way I'm going to find it in time. Here we go. We'll go to my Rumble. Let's check this out. It's got to be on here. What the fuck? Did this thing get removed from everywhere? Oh no, here it is. All right, guys, my shit's about to die. I'm just going to play a little bit of this.
Don't miss the Bully Tools Memorial Day sales event going on now through May 31st. Take an extra 15%.
If you're a man and not using the salt trick yet, you're at serious risk of losing your woman to a guy who is, I
gotta watch ads on my own videos. I better get paid for that.
Do you like dancing for little children? You don't think that's disgusting? Dancing around for little children? Don't you think that's disgusting?
She ain't real. She is a man wearing a wig and some heels. He is a stranger. They're in your classrooms putting kids in danger.
Guys, this is good enough to get a copyright. They'll hit me with it. They will. This is Adele. This is an Adele cover. They're more than happy to hit me with a Kiz Oppie Riz on this.
Oh, he's got it all. A pair of tits and a cock and balls. Arrest these creeps at the club downtown. There's a chick with a dick and a face like a clown. They grind and twerk for dollar bills on the floor. And groomer faggots let your kids walk in through the door. Groomer faggots.
Guys, what is wrong with me? This is such a jam.
Oh, there's nothing sexual about this. It's like, yeah, right. You're dressing up in lingerie before your mirror at home, tucking your dick between your legs, imagining you have a vagina for a sexual kick. Oh, there was nothing sexual about that. Yeah, right. Bloody absolute liars.
I love Jordan Peterson getting angry. Bloody absolute liars. I made this whole track, by the way, guys. I made the track from scratch. Lyrics and everything done by me. The backing vocals, the ooh, ooh. That shit, that's all me.
Naked on stage, but they said this show was meant for any age. I heard they were doing sodomy. Now your toddler says they want a lobotomy.
That's the best part. I heard they were doing sodomy. Now your toddler says they want a lobotomy. Oh, god damn it. I'm too good. Guys, it's fucked up at this point, right? I should be famous on the internet. I'm doing stuff like this. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up how they just make disabled and fucked up pieces of shit famous. And here I am writing pure fucking gold. Struggling every night.
His dick's hanging out
This is so good.
Arrest these creeps at the club downtown. There's a chick with a dick and a face like a clown.
How about those fucking vocals, though?
They grind and twerk for dollar bills on the floor.
Then groomer faggots let your kids walk in through the door.
Groomer faggots.
All right, guys, that's enough of that. We got to get out of here. I'm going to get hit with a copy riz. My shit's about to shut down. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. This has been Dark Times with Dark Match Steve. That's me. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll be on by 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock p.m. We got our evening lineup, which is Scott, motherfucking Starbird. You've seen him up in the chat tonight. You know him. You love him. He goes on at 6 p.m. That's our boy. He's got a nice stream. He covers, all kinds of shit like I do. He's a friend of Alex Stein. He's a good dude. He's a moderator on Stein's channel. And then Alex Stein goes live at 7 p.m. And then I go live at 8 p.m., all Eastern time, lovers. So jump in the chats. Join us. It's a lot of fun. Oh, Scott Starbird, he's still up in here. Viral gold. Thank you, Truth Is. All right, lovers. Dark Match Gene. Everybody that's been in here hanging, thank you guys for the support. Please, if you haven't already, hit the like button on your way out and subscribe if you're new around here. We do this 5 nights a week. We're really about this life. All right. Let me get to my own homemade royalty-free tracks, which is unheard of among streamers. I'm just doing too much. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Everybody have a good day tomorrow. Get some sleep. Love you. Take it easy. Bye.